I scream your name. Hello, hello. Do you need me before I fade away? Is this a place that I call home to find what I...
Hello, my fellow YouTubers. I'm back with Larry's review, and yes, it's that time. We're doing Call of Duty versus Battlefield, and who will win? Let's find out, shall we? All right. The first one our first competitor, Call of Duty. Alright, let me just put this down for a little bit so I don't have to keep on, so I can use my hands and stuff, so that way, yeah. Alright, let's get to the air. The air battles and the air fighters. So, in Call of Duty, is still like a big game throughout the game history. Like the generation of Call of Duty has been had gone through a lot. There was the game just called Call of Duty, and then there was the one in 1943 or something like that, and then so forth. The recently game that came out from Battlefield. That came out in Call of Duty was basically Infinite Warfare, I'm gonna say. Reason why I say it's recent because the newer one didn't came out yet, and the Infinite Warfare is still basically new. It's at least like a year old. So, yeah. And then throughout the years, their weapons, their vehicles has been getting customized. So I'll show you what their jets used to look like. So, right here, this guy right here, that's what they used to look like back in the old days. And then that's the jet that they look like now. These jets right here were meant for air travel in airspace in the planet's atmosphere. This was made for space and Earth. So basically, this is like from one of the newer ones, Infinite Warfare, and I think this is like from Ghost or Modern Warfare. So as you can see, all right. Now we got that all the way. Let's get to the ground vehicles. There was they have like they had tanks back then. I mean, no, duh, right? So as I was saying, like the tanks back then, they were like somewhere like around in Vietnam or something like that, with those old tanks from Vietnam, and they were like pretty slow, but they were very defective, so which was good. So their tanks could blast anything from to at least like anything that's like in like at least like 100 radius, I believe. And then there's like the newer one, like from Advanced Warfare, and the tanks are a whole lot different because they kind of remind you of Star Wars, and I'll show you why. So there's the old-fashioned tanks, the traditional ones that we have now and stuff, and then here's the walking tank. And just like I tell you, it looks like a Star Wars walker. Alright, and now let's get to the ships. There's two different kinds of ships in Call of Duty. Well, I wouldn't say two different kinds in Call of Duty, but these are the two different ones from Generations. So, right now, there are ships like before they got on the Futury, they had the ships like we had now, like aircraft carriers to destroyers and to those little pun things because they always get destroyed first. so yeah, their old ships used to be like on the water and stuff, going through the sea, like what we have nowadays. But now when we get to the future of Call of Duty, their ships are no longer in the sea, they're in the air. And what Call of Duty did, they basically copy off Halo and Star Wars, because if you look at their ships looks just like Star Wars. So if you grab like one of the ships from Call of Duty that's in like space, and you grab another ship from Star Wars and you put them together, they look the same. And why I say some of them looks just like Halos, because the drop ships. So yeah. So I'll show you what the ships look like. There's the aircraft carrier, the traditional looking kind, and then here's the futuristic aircraft carrier in the space. So, yep. Now, let's get to my favorite part, the weapons. Alright. In Call of Duty, the weapons also had changed too during the generations, like the rifle. Before everything got futuristic, the rifles were like this, like a standard rifle, kind of like a hunting rifle, or like the rifles we have now, like the assault rifles, the sniper rifles, and the shotgun rifle. Well, actually, we'll just call them shotguns because they're not basically rifles. And then there's like the hunting rifle. So basically, nothing there to say about that. But yeah, that was like what their old weapons used to be like. And now, if you go in the future of their generation, their weapons are now kind of like Star Warsy, and like Star Warsy, like pum pum pum. That they had those kind of pum 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 sound effects, not like a sound effects like they have in the old times. So yeah, I'll show you what their weapons used to look like and what they look like now. So that's what their weapons used to look like. And then this is what weapons they have now in Infinite Warfare. And now, let's get to the infantry, my other favorite. In Call of Duty, I found a picture from an old game of Call of Duty that used to be played on like PC. That used to be played on PC. So that was like basically the only picture I could find that had the old infantry of Call of Duty. and then they kind of look like the like in the Vietnam War and stuff. And then now, like if you look in the future heroic infantry, they don't just have men in the military anymore. Well, I meant to say humans in the war because there's already females in the there's already females in the military. So yeah, so I meant to say humans. And what I mean by that is because they finally have robots for infantry, and they don't look like rovers. They're actually like cyborgs with like their personal traditional weapons. I forgot what their weapons are called, but which I think is pretty cool. You could like hack them and stuff and make them go on your side and destroy the enemy's infantry and stuff, which I thought was pretty cool. So let's get to their infantry. Right here, that's what their old infantry looks like. Sorry for the blur. It's been like I could make it bigger, but it will mess everything up if I try. So yeah, so there's a guy right here with the old traditional helmet from like Vietnam, and then there's like a bomb right here going down, and then over here is the future heroic infantry. There's the human, and then there's the droid, and you see like the droids are the same size. Well, I won't say the same height. They're basically actually bigger than an average human. So, yeah. Now that was the Call of Duty side. Now let's go to Battlefield. Alright. Let's get to Battlefield. Alright. Now let's get to the air fighters. In Battlefield, in the old Battlefield, the first game of Battlefield that ever came out, their planes are more like kind of like the ones from World War II, kind of. Well, actually, they are from the World War II, like because it's from the game called Battlefield 1943. So technically, it was actually World War II at that time. So yeah, that's what the planes used to look like. And then now we get to the Battlefield we know today, Battlefield 4. The jets look just like our jets. So basically, they're more less advanced than Call of Duty. But as I was saying, so their jets have finally got more faster than their ordinary planes that they used to fly, and I'll show you what their planes used to look like and what they look like now. So, quiet, Bam. Bam. Shh. Try to make a video here. So, as I was saying, this is the old timing planes, and then there's sorry about that, guys. There's a phone next to the computer, and and I don't feel like starting all over again. So I hate people. Not you guys. It's just sometimes when people call, they call at the wrong time and at the last minute. So yeah. I really do not like that when that happens when I'm recording. So, anyways, yeah. So there's the old timing planes, and then there's the jets they have now, and it says right here Battlefield 4. That's what the jets look like in their targeting locating systems, and right here. And now let's get to the ground travels. The ground vehicles didn't really change a lot. Only thing that changed was the tanks have more wheels, and then there's like these transporters now. So what's really different is they have more guns now on their tanks and their Humvees and the other stuff. So basically, there's no difference, but they are like more faster than the old timing vehicles. So let's get to the thing. All right. This is what they used to look like a little doll and stuff. And then over here, this is where the tanks and everything else looks like now. And as you can see, there's basically not a difference. Only difference is the guns. That's basically it. So that's the ground vehicles, and now let's head to the ships. Bum bum bum. Okay. In the battlefield, in Battlefield 1943, they had these ships called destroyers, and they're like the old-timey ones, because again, it's like in 1943, so of course it's gonna be the old-timey ones. So yeah, their old ships were like smaller than the newer ships now. The new ships in Battlefield 4, they're like big man, huge. Even the destroyers are huge. The aircraft carriers are huger now in Battlefield 4. So let's look at their ships. Alright, this is the Battlefield 1943 destroyer, and as you can see, it's like smaller than the one in Battlefield 4. This one is an aircraft carrier, and yeah, she's a monster, alright. So if you ever did play the game, you could see that was the ship that was sinking. It was hard for me to find a new ship that ship without it sinking, and it was tough. But I finally found it that it wasn't sinking or blowing up, so that's good. Now let's get to the weapons. Just like I said, there's nothing really different between the guns, but some guns are different. So back in Battlefield 1943, they had these kind of guns. So you had to like hold it right here and. Hey Mom, can you let the dog out? Mom?
I'm coming.
Hey, can you let the dog out? I think he wants.
Come here. Come on.
Sorry about that. As I was saying, the old-fashioned guns were like this. You had to hold it right here, and you had to fire like this. And then now the newer guns, you could like just do this. And then there's the shotguns, and then there's the pistol, and then Only different about the newer guns, they look different, and I'll show you. So this is what the old guns used to look like, just like I showed you. And these are what the new guns look like now in Battlefield 4. There's the pistol, there's the shotgun, there's this gun, and whatever that gun is. But yeah, so as you can see, the guns changed over the generation. Now let's get to the infantry. The infantry is by far my favorite part in Battlefield. The vehicles and the guns, not very much, but at least you get to drive them. So yeah. So as I was saying, in Battlefield 1943, your let's just say your infantry is basically just look like people with just ordinary helmets on and stuff, and they don't really have so much armor on them. And now when you look at Battlefield 4, they have those special kinds of helmets and also visors too, but they do not have a lot of armor either. They only have like armor up here and armor on the legs and stuff. That's like basically it. And so here we go. There's the old one. That's what they used to look like. And then there's the newer one. And you can see this guy's wearing like a visor right here. And these guys are now wearing visors. So that's the Call of Duty and Battlefield. Now let's make them battle. Okay. The Call of Duty people are more advanced than Battlefield, just like I pointed out. So when they start fighting each other, all hell is going to break loose. No matter what, it's just going to break loose. So the Call of Duty people are going to try to take over the Battlefield's base. For example, so here they are with the ships in the skies, and then here comes the battlefield with the ships in the water, and then there are tanks and there are cannons on the ground, and then there are jets fighting the other jets in the air, and then the battlefield's jets are going to try to attack the carriers. So that's going on in the air, and by far Battlefield, Call of Duty is way up here, but now when you get down here on the ground, Call of Duty are advanced on the ground, but the Battlefield people on the ground have like an advance by winning by speed. So what I'm saying about that is because the Call of Duty people have way too much armor on them, so it will make them go slower, and the Battlefield people they don't have that much armor like I pointed out, so they could run faster and quicker. So they shoot their cannons at the Call of Duty people. They get decimated, and then there's the tanks. They fight each other. The Call of Duty tanks is down. Then the other tanks from Battlefield's down, and then the cannons hit the Humvees and the other transporters, and boom, boom, pow, and then Call of Duty find out a plan to make their jets go down here and shoot at their infantry, and then the tanks and the cannons starts firing at the jets, the enemy's jets, and then the Battlefield's jets starts coming back. more of the battlefield jets are coming to their ships again, and now their ships are least detected. I mean, least protected. So now their cruisers are going to be decimated as well, and then they're going to like start saying down. They're going to start saying down dropships. Their dropships looks just like Halo, but they're a whole lot different because they have more friction than in the Halo ones. Because in Halo ones you can't feel anything, but that one you can. So basically, one shot in the motor, that thing's down. The battlefield jets fire at the motor, making their dropship go sideways, backwards, and then hitting the ground, and then boom, they're decimated. So what I'm trying to say is the Call of Duty people had finally given up, and they just surrender, and then they went back home. So which means the Battlefield's base is intact. So who won? Battlefield. Reason why is because their troops are least protected by armor. So which means they're more faster and more quicker than the people in Call of Duty. So yeah. Who will win? Battlefield's the winner. Do you Battlefield fans out there? I hope you be probably happy about that. And then the Call of Duty fans, I'm sorry, but it's just a fact. I mean, the armor, most armor you're gonna wear, you're gonna be slower than average. So by the facts, the Battlefield will win. So yeah, I hope you like it. I hope you like this video. If you do, put a like, comment, and then please click subscribe. This is Larry, and I'm out.